Good morning. I'm Reverend Kristen Powell. Welcome to our service here at Unity of Walnut Creek today.
And I'm Brenley Rada. Welcome to our service. Our production crew with us today in the sanctuary includes John Nichols, Dave Paulson, and Gus Chikala on switch. Peter Weiler is behind the camera, and our production manager is Annie Love Villiers.
Wonderful. Lots of training going on today. So as wildfires are burning throughout California, and I know many of us are experiencing the smoke as well, I just wanted to invite you to take a pause and let's just all have a moment of prayer together. As we join together as a community, we breathe that fresh breath of life spirit within us that comes from within us, that clean breath, and we focus our attention there, that from within, the goodness, the clarity, the purity of the air comes. And we ourselves help purify that air as we exhale. I also invite us to pray rain, not just for it, but to feel it coming down upon your shoulders and your head. Feel it and see it as it falls upon the earth, bringing peace to all the land. And so we know this truth that we as a collective consciousness can bring forth clean air, peace to the land and to all beings. And so let's join in our consciousness throughout the week and continue to pray that fresh air that comes through us and that rain that we can become ourselves. Thanks for joining us in that throughout the week. We know we send peace everywhere present by doing so.
Yeah. So I'm pleased to welcome back our featured artist today, Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection, featuring Mark Rickey and Lee Henderson. Additional music will be provided midway through the message by Trina Brunk. So let's begin by joining Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection in their studio.
Blessings, beloved community. How good it is to be in service with you today. We are Reflection Trio, and we bring to you Hariom, dear Lord, Satanam, holy name. When I call on the light within, I go. So sing along. Here we go.
Thank you, Sharon, for such a beautiful mantra. So let's get settled and call for the light within as we ground in unity. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness. Our mission is who we have come here to be. So let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom. If you're with us for the first time, welcome. You're invited to fill out a connection card, and connection cards are available on the Watch Live page for everyone. You may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information.
Our classes and events are currently held online, and you can also access them by phone. So we have a few things that might be of interest to you this week and some exciting opportunities. Last summer, you might remember that we began the process of renewing our membership, and we're not all the way through, but we do have an easier way for you to do that now. So our plan is to keep doing that biannually to renew our membership. It's both to keep our records updated, but it's also to have a little time to reflect on what it means to be a member and to renew that in a conscious way. So if you are a member and you didn't get a chance yet to renew your membership, now we have it up on the website. So you can complete your membership renewal form there, and you can be actively updated and all set in time for our upcoming annual meeting.
So we invite you to stop by Unity during the day and walk our labyrinth. You literally feel the blessings that it was built upon as you mindfully walk the paths. And when you're here soaking up the beautiful energy of our center, be sure to stop by the table outside of the bookstore for a free copy of the Daily Word and or the Unity magazine.
And save the date for World Day of Prayer. It's coming up. Our celebration will be September 10th at 7 p.m. The theme this year is From Fear to Faith. That sounds pretty timely. We'll have inspired prayers, meditation, and readings that will take us by the hand and walk us from fear through hope, belief, and leave us landed in faith. We also have special guest artists that are going to be with us, Love Eternal. I know we all love Shauna and Jared, so they'll be with us too, sharing their peace-loving music. And we also want to invite you to the rest of World Day of Prayer that happens through Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters. So you can log in to their live stream events. They have opening ceremonies on September 9th, and there's a 24-hour prayer vigil. Actually, that's in operation all the time that you can enter. That's a pretty cool experience. So for that event information and live streaming from Unity Headquarters, you can visit worlddayofprayer.org and keep your eyes open for the more details on our upcoming event on the 10th at 7 o'clock.
Please see our website for a full listing and login information for all of our events. If you're not receiving our weekly e-news, use the connection link on the Watch Live page and sign up to stay informed.
And today at 12:45, as always, you can log on to the virtual patio conversation to see your friends and to just chat about what's on your heart and mind. And then also that's an opportunity to have a private prayer space with a prayer chaplain.
Now, as we prepare for a time of meditation, let's ground with our statement of faith. Let's take a deep breath together. And another deep breath. Settling into our hearts. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
And now that we are grounded in that truth, let's continue in this vein, preparing for our time of meditation. We're going to start out with a reading called Break Free from the Daily Word by Terry Curtin. So we always get that special extra because she signs while she speaks that reading. And then from there, we'll flow right into music by Sharon D, Henderson and Reflection. And then we'll go into some guided meditation and silence. So enjoy this expansive time together of meditation.
I break free from the illusion of limitation. My spiritual development is a journey of discovery. Through the years, I have grown in insight and understanding, sometimes slowly and other times rapidly. I am always changing, always growing into my personal potential as a spiritual being. Sometimes it can feel as if I'm not making much progress. I remember that even though I may not have been aware of my growth as it was happening, my development has been ongoing. There are also times when I have set an inspiration or clarity, like a butterfly emerging from the chrysalis and spreading its colorful wings for the first time. I am transformed by new understanding. The world feels new and exciting. I greet it with enthusiasm and feel reborn. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has arisen upon you. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. And so it is.
Here I am. will be.
Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be. I will be. And I can say those words with great assurance when I'm here in this place of full connection and awareness of the presence that I am, that I rest in, that I move about in the world. This all-pervasive presence that is dripping with potential, what we can all be together, and what I am in the depth of my being. So yes, indeed, I will be, I will be. And I am. It is with a humble gratitude that I open my heart to really see, to know, to receive. I am the embodiment of divinity on earth. And I let myself know that from the depth of my soul. The only way to really be that is to give over, to open myself, to let Spirit flow through me, to be used like the hollow flute of the Sufi poets. I am played by God. So in these quiet moments with the beloved and with my beloved community, I rest in the knowing that I will be is an expression of action from the I am that I already am. Divine knocks on the door of my heart, and I open it to unleash my divine potential. Here in these moments, I simply allow myself to rest in the truth, in the humble knowing that I was made to do the things that master teachers like Jesus did, and greater things than these. I am not a finished work of art. I've only just begun. Let us know this. Let us be in this bubbling potential, in this gratitude and humility, resting in the heart of our hearts. In that quiet place, the pause before the action, the rest before the music, in the silence. It is my God and me in this reverie, these precious moments when I quiet my being, drop into the endless ocean of silence. How many times have we gone into this place and emerged saying, oh, I could have stayed there forever. This too is a statement of our potential, where we can align with this silence forever. So we practice and practice and practice until it is our absolute habit and ease to drop into this depth, ocean silence, and hear the resounding truth. I am and I am becoming. I am and I am becoming, emerging into everyday life, showing up in the fullness of the truth of my divinity. I will be indeed as I become the fullest expression of the divine. And so it is.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
I was really enjoying seeing our local landscape and that beautiful sunset. So thanks much to Peter Weiler for providing the images, for Sharon Henderson and Reflection for the music, and for Terry Curtin for the beautiful reading that led us in. So good to be with you again. I do feel the presence and the energy, and I hope you do too. I hope you feel a little slice of home when you tune in here to our sanctuary. So today we're continuing on our series. Actually, we're finishing our series on these questions, the 4 questions that we're holding now, and the question really that opens us to this is, do we want to live from a place of innate peace, innate love, innate joy? Do we want to really tap more of that? Would you like to be the best that you could possibly be? Would you like to make the greatest impact and the greatest contribution in your short walk here on earth? Well, I know probably most of us, if we were sitting in this room together, we would hear some nods or see some nods and hear some yeses or amens, because that's the kind of path that we all are on. So it's helpful, to ask questions. And I was thinking about when I first became an ordained minister, it was, all the when something new like that happens to you, and it's like the whole world now is open. The world is your oyster. What will you be? What will you become? How will you realize your potential in this new role? So I was sort of like Charles Fillmore, fairly sizzling with zeal and enthusiasm, to spring forth and do the things that ought be done by me. He said that, by the way, when he was 94. I wasn't 94 when I became ordained, but I had that kind of feeling. And I remember James Trapp, who's actually a minister here in Sacramento now, had become the leader of our movement. He was our executive director at Unity Worldwide Ministries. And I really admired James's vision. He's a real visionary kind of guy. And so I really wanted to soak it up, all the seasoned ministers, that had any wisdom to share. And something that James said really stuck with me and has stuck with me for a long time. And he said that leadership isn't about knowing the answers, it's about asking the right questions. And so that idea of, and it's not just leadership, but really life, what opens us up, what allows us to become alive and is our curiosity and our ability to inquire within, our ability to reflect. So questions themselves are really helpful, I think, to our journey. And it's asking the right questions. Well, whatever that means is, we keep trying until it's like, oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm going to take out on my nature immersion and walk with today. That's the one I'm going to journal on. That's the one I'm going to take into my meditation time. So when we ask questions, it captures our attention. It focuses us in a little bit more. So there's many things that can come from that process. It opens doors, curiosity, doesn't it? It opens doors of the world, but also opens the doors of us, our own hearts, our own minds, our own possibilities. So today's question is, how will I realize my divine potential? Just a little question like that, right? It's like a lifetime, right? Or lifetimes kind of question. It's one of those esoteric questions that if we are on an earnest spiritual journey, we're going to ask along the way. So today we're just going to kind of explore that from a couple different angles. So even to ask that question, it presupposes something, doesn't it? So if we say, how will I realize my divine potential? It shares the belief that we already believe that we have divine potential, that we have an innate divinity in us that wants to be, that can be tapped. So, we look to our teachers for this. In Unity, we call Jesus our way shower. There are many master teachers, and that's just kind of a term that we use because he points the way, right? And so one of the things that Jesus really showed us was, how can you be a human being and really express in its fullness a consciousness of the divine, or Christ consciousness, if you will. That's what we mean when we say Christ, connected to Jesus. It's about that consciousness, that anointed kind of way of being that is anointed in the divinity that we are. And that shows up. The difference between Jesus and us is he just didn't forget. And we forget, remember, and forget and remember usually on our path. But what did he show us? He showed us what it's like to embody a life that is just completely grounded in faith, that stands in the principle of faith, that doesn't waver from that place. And that we can actually open ourselves up to let God speak through us, to let God act through us. It's a little bit of getting out of the way those parts of ourselves that we tend to identify as who we are, that more egoic side of us, and to move that, not to diminish it or eliminate it, but to use it so that it is, the master in charge here is the consciousness of this divinity, and the servant, if you will, is the ego, is the rest of our being. So when we can line up in that way, we're getting closer and closer to actually realizing our divine potential. Jesus did all these amazing things, right? Healed people of all kinds of ailments. He pointed to how to, bring up and include the disadvantaged. He welcomed the stranger, in other words. He even raised people from the dead. And then he turned around and looked at us and said, these things you will do, and greater things than these. That wasn't just a platitude. It was like, we all share this divine potential. We all can do these things and greater things, whatever it is that is yours to do, akin to this kind of contribution to the world. So this brilliance isn't meant to be for the special ones or for those that we put on the pedestal. It's for all of us to be able to tap. So to discover that power within us, to act from that power within us, is probably the most exhilarating and positively impactful thing we could possibly do with our lives. To focus here, to ask this question, then to live the question, to allow it to move through us is it, right? Because when we do that, not only are we contributing, but we will feel all that power and joy and peace and love and dwell in that kind of place. So no matter what life circumstances come, that's where our perspective will be. That's how we will show up. That's how we will feel and see. Yet, a lot of us spend a fair amount of time hiding this innate truth. Putting our light under a bushel basket, if you will, making ourselves small, playing small in the world, holding back on our aspirations and our dreams. A lot of us just don't allow ourselves to tap that magnificence that we were born to be. For various reasons, we'll explore a little bit of that. How do you do that? Do you know how can you think of ways that you block your own light? Ways that you show up at playing small? The ways that you are holding back on the allness and the magnificence that wants to be known through you and as you? The point is to share it, to serve, right? So the point is to contribute to the world. And so it's like a void is left in the universe when we hold back on that. So it's not of the ego to say, oh, how wonderful I am. It's actually quite humble to realize the power that we have been given and the possibility that we can be to be the divine on earth. So it wasn't until I was attending Unity for a while that I noticed a family pattern that my mom and my sister and I all did. When we would make a simple mistake, we would get so frustrated with ourselves that we would say, what's wrong with me? With this sort of intensity, maybe kind of a scowl like that. And I wouldn't have noticed that unconscious habit, I don't think, had I not come into New Thought teachings. But it was so clear then when I went home and saw it and thought, oh my gosh, I do that too. And look how much I'm seeing that. And it's not the right question. The right question is, what's right with me? That's what's going to put us on the path that we want to be on. Not berating ourselves for small things, but giving ourselves grace and generosity. And then looking at what's right with me. So affirming that. Make a list, write it down. Journal that idea of what's right with me. And maybe make it a daily practice, because the more we put what's right with us into our consciousness, the more we live that experience. The more that will be what shows up for us inside and out. So we are basically as divine as we're willing to see. That's the limit that we put on for ourselves. I mean, there is an unlimited potential in us, but it's only as big as we're able to see it in terms of how it can be let out, expressed. And if it's hard for you to recognize your own divinity, take a moment to think about the people who love you the most. And they love you, no matter. And so what is it, that they say or that they demonstrate that they love about you, so that you recognize that there is something there that you are contributing already, and you begin to stoke that a little bit. Or think about if you're a grandparent or a parent, think about how when your children or grandchildren are at their best, how you look at them, how you see them, how you see both their greatness, their magnificence, how wonderful they are, the little genius, right? All those things we say about our own children and grandchildren. And you also see the potential. You wonder what they will become, how they will grow, what they will come into. It's that kind of curiosity that we hold for ourselves, no matter how old we are, because we are an ever-evolving soul, that we look at ourselves in that same way. How pure we are, how precious we are, how the beautiful characteristics that we have, but also what could we become? What will we become when we tap this? If we look how God sees us, we would see just that kind of love, that kind of unending love that will buoy us up. So that's the aim to realizing our fullest potential, to notice where we put our gaze when we are looking upon ourselves and one another, because we can also help call forth the divinity in one another. So what will we become? I was taking a walk a few days ago, and I came across this amazing acorn. I haven't seen, the picture doesn't show how big it was. It was really long, but there's a picture in front of you of this really green, ripe acorn, and it's laying on the dry earth. And it just stood out with that, it's like it had a proud little hat on and this big, proud feather of an oak leaf hanging out off the crown of that acorn. And I had it in my hand, and I was just really looking at it. It felt like like a manna from heaven. You know how that is? You find something on the trail, like it just kind of fell for you, and it's there to bring your attention to it. And so I was just holding it, and I was thinking about the hope, the hope that is in that acorn for all of us, for our world, that it is ripe with potential. It's ripe with possibility. We ourselves are bursting with that kind of life, And then as I was holding it, I looked around, and I bet you can guess what I could see. These beautiful, mighty oak trees. The sun was actually, it's pretty early in the day. The sun was just beaming through it. And it was like that majesty of holding this little acorn, this little proud acorn, and then looking up at what it could become. So it's that kind of knowing that is who we are and what we can become, and to wonder about it, to just allow yourself to have some space just to wonder about what can I become, what's next, what is my next step to completely embodying and fully embracing my divinity. Well, Trina Bronk has a beautiful song for us, happens to be called Acorn, in the wondering of what we can become. Let's take a listen.
If an acorn becomes a tree, what will I be? If a river becomes the sea, where am I going? As my life unfurls in the shape it's meant to be, I surrender to a deeper knowing. I choose peace, I choose love. My choices extend to mysteries that I know not of. I step outside of my comfort zone. I look within and find myself home. If an acorn becomes a tree, what will I be? If the river becomes the sea, where am I going? As my life unfurls in the shape that it's meant to be, I surrender myself to a deeper knowing.
And I also want to give a shout out to Jack Nichols, who did the visuals for that song. Thank you, Jack, for contributing your talents to our service today as well. So once we glimpse that divine potential, as you may have glimpsed as you were moving through the landscape, that wide, expansive landscape, that once we glimpse it, once we feel its presence, once we have just, even if it's a moment, we know it's there, there's really no going back. That's the beauty of the spiritual journey, is it's cumulative, right? So when we hit a benchmark, we don't slide back, the old Baptist term, backsliding. We don't really do that. I mean, we may go back to old habits that don't serve us, and then we realize, oh, that doesn't really serve me. But I believe that once we hit a level in our consciousness, our awakening, we know now what it feels like. We know now what it looks like. We now have a sense of that. And so that's with us always. It's in our DNA. It's in our thought system and in our emotional body as well. And so it's something that we can tap at any time. And then we can become that passageway, right, through which joy and light can shine. So this is the heart, really, of our mission statement at Unity of Walnut Creek. The full mission statement talks about, first, we are a loving, inclusive community. But the middle is the heart of it that says expanding and living our divinity. And then the last part, in sacred service for all. So that middle part, expanding and living our divinity, it's a pretty bold statement to say, this is what we are about, but this is what we are about. This is what we are doing. We are living and expanding our divinity every moment. Not just every day or every week, but every moment there's an opportunity. As Paul once said, I die daily. That's a shedding of the old so that the new, the shiny new can come through. So we move from maybe I'm a poor, limited human being, that kind of thinking, into, no, I have, light to shine. I have value to contribute to the world. This is the truth of who I am. This is what I walk in now. So the main thing that stands in our way, that underpins all this, as we are trying to see it and think it and feel it and be it, the thing that sort of gets in the way is fear, right? It's always fear, isn't it? And if fear is okay. Fear is going to come along, and it's okay to embrace that, but we don't want it to block our path. We don't want it to block our light. And so you probably know this quote really well by Marianne Williamson, but it is a brilliant one, and it really speaks to this. So I want to share it with you again. Maybe you'll hear it with new ears, and maybe some of you are hearing it for the first time. So it's about a paragraph long, so just, sink in and receive, maybe as if you're hearing it just now, dropping into your consciousness. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will feel more secure around. Other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's it, isn't it? That's really what we fear. It's our brilliance. It's our divinity itself that we fear. It's the tapping that power that we fear. What will I become? I don't know. It's uncertain. I don't know how my life will change. I don't know, if I'll still have the same friends and family. I don't know if I'll be asked to move somewhere. I don't know if, all those sort of human fears start to weigh us down as we begin to emerge into our divinity. So to recognize that, to call it out, to say, it's not that I'm afraid of failure or inadequacy, I'm afraid of success, I'm afraid of my divinity, I'm afraid of that full power of my potential, but there's nothing to fear. God is always with us. comforting and guiding and encouraging. It doesn't all have to happen at once. That's usually what we fear the most, right? There's going to be this like big explosive experience of life that lightning's going to strike down, and there's going to be just all the stuff that happens that feels like the full effects of Hollywood. And it's probably not going to happen that way. I mean, it might, but for most of us, it's going to be a step-by-step emergence and a moment-by-moment. Sometimes, whoa, I can really feel the power. I can really feel the presence. I feel myself plugged in and turned on and tapped in, and that it just, you can feel that energy moving through you. You can feel it around you. And there'll be other times where it's like, oh, where did it go? Where is that sense, that feeling I had? And that's just part of the journey. The mystics call it aridity on the path, or even at its worst, dark night of the soul. So as we tap our divinity, there are many, many aspects and expressions and ways in which that can show up for us, right? There's a whole spectrum of divine qualities that are available to us. Piero Ferrucci is a psychologist and author. He's really sort of psycho-spiritual, I'd say, in his teachings and his writing. I really enjoy him. And he wrote a book on kindness where he tells a story. He was about to give a seminar, and one of his students came up to him and said, Dr. Ferrucci, you have to make sure that you meet that guy over there with the white beard. He is so funny. I mean, this guy has just got the best sense of humor. And so Dr. Ferrucci goes up to the guy and he says, I understand you have quite a talent for making people laugh. And he said the man was very shy, he was very small, and he kind of gave a little sheepish grin and nodded a little bit and moved on. And Dr. Ferrucci said he completely expected this guy to be really funny throughout was looking for, he said he seemed like he has really cheerful demeanor, and he's going to just be a really wonderful asset to what we're doing today. And sure enough, the guy was hilarious. I mean, he would give a funny example that was right on cue, and then he'd follow it up with a joke, and everybody was laughing and laughing. And so after the seminar, Dr. Ferrucci went up to his student and he said, you were right. Mr. X was so funny. And the student says, oh, I didn't mean Mr. X. I meant Mr. Y. So, it turns out that whatever it is that we call forth is available to us. Maybe that guy had never told a joke in his life. I don't know. Or maybe he would have been too shy in that environment to do so. But something was seen in him and expected. And it's that seeing and expectancy that allows it to come forth. And that's what we do with ourselves, and that's how we help each other. Sometimes it's easier to see in each other, so we can be that mirror for one another, the mirror of the positivity, the mirror of the potential, the mirror of those divine qualities that we can call forth in one another. It can be really fun, to just think about all the things that you admire in others. Or think of, maybe there's one particular, maybe you do love humor. I mean, we can certainly use humor in our world right now. So if if that's something that really speaks to you, oh, I love being around funny people, and I don't really, see that in myself. But if you, as we say, if you spot it, you got it, right? So if you see it, if you admire it in somebody else, it's there. It's untapped potential. And it's something that you can it's like downloading it from heaven. As a friend of mine used to say, you can just access anything, and she said, you want to be able to cook Indian, you've never cooked Indian before? Open that window and download how to cook Indian. It's available to us. All of that is available to us, whatever it is that we want to be able to do or be or embody. So it's just believing that and knowing that and opening it up so that it's fun. So that we enjoy it. Have fun, spread joy, like we say every week. So to know if we're on the right path, we can ask more questions, right? As we go, we can ask ourselves, maybe before we act, we can ask ourselves how that particular thing is going, what is it stirring in us? What feeling is coming up? Now, I'll say 9 times out of 10, my experience is if there's a scary, excited feeling to it, maybe even 10 out of 10, it's going to tap some of your divine potential. So some of that fear is natural, but it's got that I don't know, I like to call it scary excited. I don't know what else to call it. It's got sort of a different feel to it because there's anticipation and excitement, but we're nervous too, as we should be when we're stepping into something big. And so if that's present, you're probably on the cusp of moving towards something that's tapping more of that divine potential in you. We can obviously move more. We can ask ourselves, is this going to move me further to the light or further into the darkness? And obviously we want to move into the light. That's a no-brainer in a way, but then, there are times when we truly are choosing things that we know are going to move us further into darkness, that are going to spiral us down into a place where we're not going to feel very good or not be able to tap some of these kinds of qualities we're talking about. And we can ask, does what I'm about to do or what I'm doing, does it make me feel alive? If there's an aliveness, that's a good sign too that we're on the right path. If it's sort of dead or flat, not so much, right? So all of these can be markers for us of these kind of emotional states of scary, excited, or passion that's present for us, a sense of being on purpose. These are all a sense of connection. These are all sort of signs that we are on the right path to realizing our divine potential, to opening that up further to us. And when I say our divine potential, I really mean our divine potential. I feel like I can hardly even speak in individual terms right now because, for so long our spirituality has been talked about in individual and personal terms, but it's not where we are in the world anymore. So the world is now reflecting back to us the absolute significance. In fact, frankly, we will perish if we don't get it, that we are one family, that we belong to each other, that we need each other, that we move together as one. And so this isn't so much an individual journey. What we do as individuals contributes or takes away, detracts from the wholeness of who we are as a human family or as all life. So that part, I think, is really key for us to recognize it's not only an opportunity to contribute, but it's really a responsibility. I mean, it's our ability to respond to the world about us, to recognize that we're all in this together, whatever this is. And if the pandemic hasn't shown us that, or the racial justice movement hasn't shown us that, I'm not sure what will. But these things are the fires, perhaps, all these things are expressions of you must collaborate, you must move together, you must, we depend on each other, basically. So, enough said about that. So like that acorn that has that potential in it, we can tap it and be the majesty of an oak tree, so to speak. We have that kind of immense potential. So let's not block the sun, but let's instead lift our branches up and expand ourselves into all that we can be. Let's allow the divine to move through us and as us so that we can become what we truly were born to be, what we came here to earth to do and to be and to embody. As we realize our divine potential, as you realize your divine potential, we all will advance a little bit more toward that because we're all connected. So we know this truth that I am divine. We know this truth, right? So as we speak it and we know it and we see it, we can be it, and so too can we all be it. We can individually be it and collectively be it. So let's speak this affirmation together as we sign off from the message and just really feel this and maybe carry it with you throughout the week. Together, I am divine. I see it, so I can be it, so we can be it, and so it is. Bless you.
So thank you, Kristen. I am going to take a lot of those contemplations with me on the hiking trails in Yosemite as we travel there soon. It's a lot to really contemplate and to look at. You know, I love that what's right with me, and to focus on that. And so a lot there to unpack throughout the week. So thank you. Whether you have a joy or concern on your heart today, our prayer chaplains are available to provide prayer support during the virtual patio conversations after the service. You may also contact them by phone and email. Please complete the connection card on the Watch Live page, or click on prayer requests at the bottom of the home page. Our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week.
So now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. You know, our spiritual home thrives on your generosity, and so we give thanks for that. I invite you now to prepare your gifts and your tithes, and will align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, so we receive. And abundance, as we all know, is our true nature.
In addition to sending checks through regular mail or direct deposit from your bank, there are 2 ways to give online. You may click on the Donate button on the Watch Live page, or download the Give app. Give is spelled G-Y-V-E.
So I invite you now to repeat our prosperity affirmation with me, and I'm holding my electronic gift here together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
In the land of I am more than a have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Say, in the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the songs of all my great grandmothers, and the dreams of all my great grandfathers, and the way to rise beyond the pain, all live, all live, all live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the smiles of all the unborn children, and the dreams of a better day to come, and the dance of heaven with the earth, all live, all live, all live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am.
Okay, so when we all come back together, we're going to have a dance party. And Sharon is definitely singing Land of I Am live. That's my affirmation. That was really fabulous. And we were all dreaming here in the room. The production team was dreaming about us coming together and celebrating and having a big dance party. Annie's already got us with a spinning ball and everything. So a big heartfelt thank you to our artists today for sharing their music with us. That's SharonDHenderson.com. You can visit and join her mailing list and purchase her CDs. We always, of course, like to support our musicians. And then our friend, Trina Brunk, offered a song too during mid-message, and you might want to check her out at trinabrunk.com. So now as we bless our offerings, we bless both the giver and the gift, that it may go forth and multiply and increase good in all of our lives. We know that's the truth of divine potential emerging through us in our prosperity. So let's speak this affirmation and bless our offerings and ourselves together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. And so it is.
And let's bless our frontline workers and our firefighters. Frontline workers and firefighters, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
Our children went back to school this week with distance learning, and this is a really sweet video of encouragement for all of our school-age children, and all of us, I think, can relate to it. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle here with Maddie and Millie, and we just finished our first week of school. Yeah, and distance learning. We conquered distance learning this week, and it was amazing, right? Yeah, we were a little nervous. We didn't really know how it was going to go, but it was great. You guys want to tell them what grade you're in? What grade are you in, Maddie?
I'm in 3rd grade.
And what about you, Millie?
I'm in 1st grade.
1st grade and 3rd grade. Yep. All right, so we wanted to share our affirmation jar again, and this time it's affirmations for going back to school, but you can use them for anything, right, girls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who wants to pick one first?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, how human of me to feel nervous about something new.
How human of me to feel nervous about something new. Did you feel nervous about anything this week?
About distance learning. I
Yeah.
didn't know how it was going to be.
Uh-huh. And that's very natural and normal and human to feel nervous about starting something new. But how do you feel now on Friday afternoon now that it's done?
Good.
Good, yeah. And do you feel nervous anymore?
Mm-mm.
Nope. And it's just a feeling, and it's totally natural and normal to feel nervous. So let's read it together again. Ready? How human of me to feel nervous about something new. So we share that with you in case you're feeling nervous about anything. And if you're trying new things, that's really, really cool that you're trying new things, right? All right, Millie. Are you ready? Let's pick one for Millie here. Okay. It says, I will give myself the same grace I give others. So, Millie, what do you think this means?
I'll give myself as much love I give to others.
Right, that's right. So you love other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you love yourself just as much,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if other people make a mistake, you love them and you forgive them and you treat them with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you do if you make a mistake?
Do the same thing.
Do the same thing. That's right. That's a really good one. Okay, let's read it again. Ready? I will give myself the same grace I give others. Yeah, wonderful. So that's another great affirmation for everyone. Everyone can use to just treat ourselves as kindly as we do to others, right? Okay, Unity. Well, that's all we have for you this week. We're going to start our weekend, but we love you. Let's give them a blessing, right?
We
Love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the divine light that shines through you. Ready? We love you, Unity. See you later.
Well, let's bless them right back, shall we? Children and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. So please join us now in the prayer of protection. And as we do, of course, we're holding all of the people around us in California and other places that might be feeling fearful right now around the fires. Let's hold everybody in the prayer of protection, knowing this truth together. Together? The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. So it is.
So stick around until the end of the service. We have community member selfies that you won't want to miss, and we want more. So please, it's quite a blessing, really, to be able to see everyone in your selfie or your waving video. So please send those to office@unityofwalnutcreek.org. It's easy to do, and it's a lot of fun, and it's quite a blessing for us all. And now, our peace song.
You are the love and the light and the peace on earth right now.
So let your light shine.
Have fun and spread joy. Have a great week, everyone. Blessings.
All right.